and welcome to my I bet you can't guess what it's about video. I think this may be a giveaway, and also the title of the video. So as many of you may know, in possibly a week or two, week and a half, I will be welcoming the pitter-patter of 4 little paws into my house. Very, very excited and nervous and excited. I've had dogs before, but I've not been the main owner, they've been family dogs. The first dog we had was Gypsy. Gypsy was a border collie, and she was so placid and tolerable of everybody, and sweet and intelligent. She was just lovely. When we had Gypsy, we lived on a farm. So Gypsy was actually a working farm dog. She helped us herd the sheep in when we had to do the sheep dip, and just in general, control the animals. If we needed to get some geese up the field and in on a night, if there was some fox attacks, she could do that. She wasn't like a proper herding dog, where you see the farmers with the whistles. It wasn't like that, but she was pretty good at it. Gypsy had to be put down when she was about 13, due to just old age, and how it gets. They get so poorly and old that you have to put them down, and it's just heartbreaking. So we had to put her down at 13. Then we had Levi. Levi was the complete opposite. She was a Patterdale Terrier, and she was exactly how you think a Patterdale Terrier would be. She was a live wire. She escaped so many times. We came about Levi because somebody had stolen a litter of puppies from somewhere. We don't know where, we couldn't trace back to the owners, or the people who ended up giving her to us couldn't trace it back. But basically somebody had stolen a litter of puppies and were throwing them onto the motorway in front of cars. So the cars were hitting the puppies and killing them. And somebody had stopped and got Levi. She was the last one. She was very young. She wasn't 8 weeks. Obviously, someone had stolen them before you would normally give them to new owners. So she was very, very little when we got her. And she was one of those dogs where, if you carry them around in your coat, people would just come up and put their hand in your coat because they were like, oh my god, this dog's amazing. She was so small and so cute. And I'm not sure how old Levi was when she had to be put down, because I'd actually moved out at that point. I'd moved out to university. But she had a fair few years under her belt. She ended up with little grey whiskers and little grey hairs, and she was lovely. And those are the 2 dogs I've had. Gypsy, we didn't buy Gypsy. When we moved to the farm, there was a lady whose bitch had had a litter of pups, and she said to everybody in the street, does anybody want a puppy? So everybody came and chose a puppy, and she said, all I want is the money for the food until they're ready to leave their mother. and my mum said that she went down, and Gypsy was the one that was sat in the middle of them all, just really quiet, and that's why she chose her. This puppy, the story of how we came about her. A couple of years ago, I started to look at buying a dog. I was looking on Pets for Homes, and we looked at cockapoos and poodle breeds because my boyfriend is a bit allergic to dogs. So we were thinking if we could go with like a poodle mix, that would be better for him. And we just never ended up doing it. There was, I guess the thing that originally stopped me was the fact that my house had no garden. When we had Gypsy, we lived on a farm that had acres of fields. When we had Levi, we had a big back garden for her. And there was just something that put me off living in a house with just a yard that didn't feel right getting a dog, because I was used to them having so much green space, and when I lived in Middlesbrough it was like a concrete jungle. And another thing was just the condition of which these puppies were seeming to be brought into this world. They were just being churned out for money. The pictures of the puppies, the backgrounds they were in, it just felt wrong. It felt like the people weren't really caring for the puppies. And that put me off wanting to buy one. It felt wrong. I know there's, people out there who breed dogs and are wonderful breeders. They do a great job. They really work at getting the puppy prepared for their new home. But the ones I'd come across weren't those kind of breeders. So then we started to look at shelters. We kind of went off and on shelters for a while, still just keeping an eye out, but not really getting a dog because of, again, what I said, where I lived. It wasn't really the best home I wanted to bring a dog into. Then we moved here, and we've got a massive garden. We live next to the woods, and the amount of dog walks around here are amazing. There's so much green space around here. So when we moved here, it was okay, we'll start looking at dogs again. Getting a dog was never an easy decision for me. It's something I've really thought about and something I've slowly come about doing. It's not something I've just jumped into. So when we moved to this house, we started looking at the shelters again. Unfortunately, the type of dogs that were in the shelters weren't suitable for us, the majority of them. The shelters around us had, I think the vast majority of them had staffies, lurchers, greyhounds, and whippets, I think. They were the dogs that were going in, and staffies, they're such a misunderstood dog. People don't train them properly, they get out of hand and they just get rid of them in a shelter. Lurchers are so energetic. My brother-in-law has a lurcher, and he's like a horse. And he just wants to be exercised all the time. Greyhounds, obviously, they get used for racing, get retired and just shoved in a shelter. Now, one of the big things I read up on about getting a dog was to make sure the dog's right for you. If you have never owned a dog before, and you're quite a nervous person, then obviously you wouldn't take on a pit bull who's been abused, who needs a confident owner. Just like if you lived in a studio apartment on the 10th floor and there was no green areas around you and you worked 8 hours a day, you wouldn't get a husky who needs a lot of exercise and who's a big dog. So it was important that I got the right dog for me, because I would hate to have got a dog and didn't think about it and then thought this isn't right for me, and then having to be that person who takes them back. So for me it was really important to get the right dog. A small dog was the right dog. Now whenever small dogs became available in the shelters, they were snapped up. They were snapped up instantly. You'd ring up and you'd see if little Rocky was still available, and they'd be like, nope, he's been taken, or they were reserved. So whenever we tried to register interest in a dog, not necessarily a puppy, just any dog that we were interested in, they were more often than not already taken. Because of the house renovations, we'd taken our foot often on the gas. It wasn't like we were looking every day situation. It was, we might have a look on once a week, then we were getting the windows fitted and we'd totally forget about it. Anyway, before Christmas we started to look again at shelters. Again, the dogs that we were interested in were already reserved by the time we had rang up. And then just after Christmas, my mother-in-law had mentioned some puppies. She got chatting to somebody in a shop, the shop around the corner from her, and this lady's mother, her dog had just had a litter of puppies. Now, the puppies were an accident. She wasn't breeding them. She had gone away to the metro centre for the day and left her dog in her daughter's care. Now, her daughter has a dachshund, and she said don't let those two be alone because I think she might be in heat. The person who was looking after the dogs didn't have their eye on them the entire time, and the dogs snuck off for a little bit. And a couple of months later, I'm not sure how long a gestation period is for a dog, but she was pregnant and had a litter of puppies. She had them on the 23rd of December. The mother is half Lhasa Apso and half Shih Tzu, and the father is a miniature dachshund. He's a short-haired one. He's not like a toy, not like a really little one. He's about the same size as the mother, really. So we heard about these puppies, and because I was back on looking for them, I decided to kind of register my interest. The reason I registered my interest in this is because she wasn't selling them. It clearly wasn't a woman who had bred them for money. It was an accident, and these puppies needed homes. So I found out a little bit more about the breed, read up on the breed a bit, and then we went to visit them. And I think they were 3.5 weeks when we first went to see them. 3.5 or 4.5 weeks when we went to see them at first. I went with my boyfriend and my mother-in-law, because my mother-in-law has been after a puppy. So we went to test out my boyfriend's allergies. He was fine. We got the dog to lick them, made sure we stroked them a lot, didn't take an antihistamine, and he was okay. He had a small reaction, but he said it could have been from anything. And then we went the week after, and this time I went with my mother and my mother-in-law. I took my mum because she has worked in a vet's for a lot of years. She has been head receptionist in a veterinary surgery, so has had a fair amount of experience with puppies and things. She ran puppy parties, which is basically where you take your dog, we take your puppy, and they learn how to socialise with other puppies. The person there gives you lots of advice and tips and things. So she's run the puppy parties. So I wanted her to check the puppy over, make sure everything was okay with her, make sure her eyes and her ears and everything were healthy. So she got the seal of approval from my mum, and that was when we officially decided to take her. That was when I put my post on Instagram about her. I didn't want to jinx it beforehand because I thought there was always a chance we go and there's something wrong with her, she's not very healthy or something. And this was the first thing I got. I am borrowing this from somebody, I didn't buy it. A lady that my mum knows is loaning it to me just for the first couple of months while I take it to the vets and, just to have her in the car and things, and then I'll get my own. It's got a few toys inside which I'll show you in a second. So yes, we are bringing her home either next Saturday or midweek. So it's like a week and a half from recording this video. I may have her by the time this video goes up. Chances are that's very likely. I've spoken to the lady and I am giving her some money for, injections and food and things, while obviously she's still looking after her. I at first was a bit dubious about the fact she was giving them away for free, because I've heard some real horror stories about puppies just being given away. I heard that somebody fed a puppy to their python, and I know a lot of puppies are used as bait in dog fighting, which is awful. Which obviously when you go and rescue a dog, there's still a donation to make sure that you're not just going to take this dog for the wrong purposes. So I was a bit worried for the puppies and thinking, please don't give the puppies to anybody, just anybody unscrupulous who was like, yeah, I'll have a puppy. But there's 6 puppies. She is giving 3 to her members of her family. She's got a lot of kids, grown-up kids. So she's giving 3 out to the family. My mother-in-law is having one. I am having one, and there was one left. And my friend who has been looking for a puppy, I told her about it and she said, is there a puppy still available? So I spoke to the lady and my friend is getting the other puppy. So 3 of the sisters will know each other, and then a sister and 2 brothers are going to still be in contact with each other. So although we're kind of separating them, they'll still get to see each other, which I'm really excited about. So in here are some toys that I bought over the past couple of days. So I'm just going to show you the toys and some of the sounds, and then chat a little bit more about the puppy. The first one I've got is this little chew toy. This is the first edible chew toy I've bought her. It's a toothbrush. Doesn't really smell. not meat. It just smells of meat. So name-wise for the puppy, I still don't have one. I will definitely have one by the time this video goes up, because I need to have a name by tonight. We're going to see the puppy tonight. She's just coming up 6 weeks now. So we're going to see her tonight, and I'm taking personal details over. So they got to get the puppy microchipped. And rather than putting their details on the microchip for all of the puppies, I've told them that they can actually put our details straight on to the microchip, so that we don't have to go in at a later date and change them. So of course I'm taking our name, address, telephone number, and the name of the puppy, which I don't have. There was a period where there was about 15 names on the name board. We managed to narrow it down to 3. We had Penny, Nellie and Poppy. And then last night I said to my boyfriend, we need to kill 2 of the names. You get to kill one, I get to kill one. I killed Penny, he killed Nellie. That sounds awful. We got rid of the names. So we were left with Poppy. Then later that evening he said, what do you think about Dotty? I love Dotty. Dotty's already been on the list. And then he said, what's the other name? What do you think about Dory? So we got rid of 2 names. And then within an hour, 2 names had gone back on. And he's literally just sent me a text with all these other names from work. And I'm like, we can't keep doing this. We need a name by tonight. So we're going to have to choose a name in the next few hours. I got this ball from Wilko's. This brush was just from Pets at Home. This one was from Wilko's. This one doesn't squeak. Somebody told me not to get squeaky toys because the dogs kill the squeaker, and that teaches them that they're allowed to kill things that make a high-pitched squeaky noise, which kind of makes sense because Levi used to love killing birds. She kept on bringing my mum dead birds, which upset my mother. You know, my mum would be seeing the blackbirds in the garden, and she was like, oh, the blackbirds have made a nest, and you can see the mummy and daddy blackbird getting all this food, and then, you know, a day later Levi would bring in a dead bird. I don't know if it would stop a dog's want to kill a bird, keeping the squeaky toys away, but I get the theory behind that. So I've got this little ball. Because she's so small, I wanted a ball she could kind of grab. I didn't want something really tiny in case she swallowed it or I'd be lost easily, so I got something that she could get her little teeth around. I've got 2 rope toys here. All these toys have come from Pets at Home or Wilkinson's. So this is the one I got from Pets at Home. Again, I got advised not to get rope toys with a tassel on the end because they can chew the rope off and swallow them. So it's best if it's like one solid piece. Training wise, we're definitely going to crate train her. I've obviously got this just for travel, but I'm going to buy a proper crate. I'm going to get a pen so that if I need to get something done in the house, I can make dinner and I can't really keep an eye on her, then I can put it in the pen. Like, let's say if she doesn't want a nap, she wants to play, I can stick her in the pen and I know she's safe, not getting up to mischief. But definitely crate training her. If you have any advice on crate training, please let me know. I mean, I have watched, I think I'm heading up to around 60-70 videos I've watched on dogs. Zach George is amazing. He's so good. I've been watching a few Cesar Milan videos. I like Cesar Milan, but the videos I've managed to find are, they're like from TV, the stuff from TV, so it's all entertainment. So what I found is it's aimed more at taking a bad dog, a dog that's got a problem, and then rehabilitating them and getting them out of that habit, as opposed to here's a brand new puppy, how do you train it? And so it's still good to watch to understand about dog behaviours and what is a good sign to look out for in dogs, what's a bad sign, things that I need to maybe look out for, so preventative measures to make sure they're not aggressive towards the food. But I think Zach George's videos are more tailored to puppy training. There's so many videos on training your new puppy, how to stop them biting, how to stop them jumping up, if they're anxious about loud noises. I've watched so many of his videos, I've literally lost count. I could even be in the hundreds by now. Whenever I'm milling about cooking or if I'm in the bath, I just put one of his videos on. This is another thing that's similar to the ball. I don't know what she's going to play with. I don't know if she's gonna have a favourite or she'll play with everything, or if she doesn't like anything. But from the training videos I watched, I was advised to have lots of toys. Just like a baby, they'll go through days where they are enjoying one texture more. They might be energetic and want to play with a ball. They might be tired and just want to snuggle with something fluffy. So having a good variety of toys and having training toys as well, toys I specifically use to train, that she isn't left with all the time, as I've been following that advice. So some of these toys will be used specifically for her training and some will be used just, you know, something she's got to play with all of the time. These are actually very nice. Cuddly toy. Of course I had to get a fox. This fox actually had two squeakers. Squeaker in there, squeaker in there, but I killed them. I stabbed them with a skewer. Obviously people are going to buy her squeaky toys and things, and I can't stop them, but I want to know a little bit more about the idea of not letting them play with squeaky toys. Some people might be like, you know, it's fine, or they might be good to use for training. So use it as a training toy, but then put it away so she can't play with it until she kills the squeaker. There's just so much to read up on. So much. nice soft toy, and this one is the ones without stuffing in, so it's like really flat. I know not to buy them just normal toys. You know, I'm not just going to give them a soft toy, because obviously they're going to play with it rougher than a child would. You know, they're not going to rip the toy apart. That's not what they were designed for. So I know not to buy her just random second-hand toys out of a shop. Another toy, which when I went in Pets at Home, it was like a baby section. There was a section and it genuinely looked like it was just for newborn babies. But I got this. It's really nice and soft. It's got lovely little bits to chew. And it's crinkly. Actually feels really nice as well. What else have we got? A couple of similar toys I've got here. These are like teething chew toys. So this one again is from Pets at Home. It's from Nyla Bourne, and it's just got different ends to gnaw on, to chew on, to help our teeth. I've been looking at clicker training, and I think that I might try clicker training. I know that I can't obviously have a perfectly trained straight away. I think that definitely the first couple of weeks, the first month, is literally just going to be getting to know her personality, her getting to know me, getting to trust each other, because in her 12th week I go on holiday for 2 weeks. This kind of wasn't planned. I didn't mean to book a holiday. What happened was the holiday came first. So I am going away for a fortnight on a beach holiday in March, just as she turns 12 weeks old. So I think any kind of training I do with her might be a complete waste of time, because that training's not going to continue for 2 weeks. She's staying with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law obviously is having the other puppy, so she gets to spend a couple of weeks with her sister. But I just think there's no point trying to do proper training for it just to not happen at all in the 2 weeks, and then come back and, you know, be disappointed that she doesn't remember anything. So I think the first month is just going to be doing a little bit of potty training, getting to know her and enjoying her little puppy stages. And then when we come back, she'll be, 14 going on 15 weeks. And then we can start to get into a little bit of training, doing some socialising, because she can't really socialise before we go away, because she won't have had her jabs. So she'll have her last injection and then we go away. So I'm going to look at going to some puppy parties, getting her out and about in the area we live in and socialised. This one is Rosewood Buy or Save Puppy Toy. Mint scent. No, it's not mint scent at all. It does remind me of, you know, the drink you get at the dentist, the pink drink. It reminds me of that. Another toy I got, which was highly recommended, was Kong. I bought a nice little puppy one for her. You can put treats and things in. I saw the spray, whatever it is, that you can put inside. I just didn't fancy that. It just looks really messy. Not messy as in like it'll create a mess, but it almost feels like, you know, squirty cheese and squirty cream. It's just crap, isn't it? It's not good for you. The stuff they squeeze inside of there just doesn't feel like it would be that healthy for her. So I think I might just put like little dry treats in here. Or as a user guide. Didn't see that. So yeah, got her a little Kong toy. One of the best tips I had, and one that has been kind of hammered in for years now when looking at dogs, is as soon as you get them comfortable with being touched. Their paws, their ears, their eyes, their mouth. Make sure they're good with that, because it will make vet visits easier. If they're getting groomed, they'll be better with it. Brush their teeth. So I bought some meat flavoured toothpaste with a little finger brush, and that's from Pets at Home. And I'm going to start just getting her used to having my finger in her mouth and around her gums and things, and brush her teeth, because apparently this will save me a lot of money on dentist vet's bills. It'll be interesting to try it, but hopefully all the little bits of work I'm doing with her will work. Hopefully, you know, all these things that you're meant to do with them when they're young, that it'll work and she'll be comfortable with her nails getting clipped and her teeth being brushed and stuff. This came from eBay. So I was chatting to a couple of people on Instagram and they said deer antler. It's nice and hard. Doesn't splinter. And it lasts a long time. So I found a seller on eBay and bought just a little one. So it's a red deer antler, wild game meat, natural dog chew. And these are all the toys I've got at the moment. This literally on this table, or what you've just seen, is all I have for her, and this. That's it. There's nothing else I haven't bought. My heating's kicking in because the house is so cold. I did turn the heating off at the beginning of this video, but the temperature's dropped so much that to come back on. So I've got a lot to buy in the next week. A pen, a bed, bowls, harness, leash. So much. Find a vet, get pet insurance. It's all very exciting. And a little bit nerve-wracking as well at the same time. I want to make sure I do the best by her. I want to make sure I train her well, so that she's a well socialised, happy dog. And so this is where I ask you for your tips and advice. Do you have a puppy? Do you have a dog? What are your tips? If you were to do it all again, what would you do and what would you not do? I mean, like I said, I watched so many videos on everything, like how to avoid food aggression, how to introduce them to baths. It's all about positive reinforcement. It's not about telling them no and shouting at them. It's about letting them know their boundaries and what's right to do, and how to enjoy certain situations and stuff. So yeah, let me know your tips. Just go wild in the comments. Feel free to send me any links. They'll probably get caught in the spam filter, but I'll check it, and obviously if they're useful tips I'll let them go through. But I have about I was going to say I have about a week and a half. I might have her by the time this video goes up, or I might just put this video up really quickly, so then I can still have time to watch plenty of stuff before she gets here. So yeah, hopefully I'll have a name, and maybe the next puppy video will feature her. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for all the tips and things you're about to give me, because I know people will have loads of stuff to tell me and loads of great advice. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it relaxed you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.